Let's just wrap up with this intervention I thought was really effective from the Republican vice presidential candidate. It was on the policy of housing, but it went back to a theme that he referred to a number of times throughout the debate.
The most important thing here is Kamala Harris is not running as a newcomer to politics. She is the sitting vice president. If she wants to enact all of these policies to make housing more affordable, I invite her to use the office that the American people already gave her, not sit around and campaign and do nothing while Americans find the American dream of homeownership completely unaffordable.
Kosher, Vance did that a number of times, really effective. I was so surprised Donald Trump only did it in his closing remarks in the debate that he lost to Harris. Today, Vance turned the table on that issue and used it as he should have.
Yeah, that's another issue where I think he corrected one of the points of frustration that a lot of Trump supporters had for that missed opportunity in that debate. And I think, the whole way that this went about, where they pushed Biden out, she was anointed with no competitive process and rapid speed, and then is trying to hoodwink the American people into being the change candidate, because that's what the country wants right now, the change candidate who's changing the direction of leadership and the course of the country. She's trying to suggest that that's who she is, even though she literally is the sitting vice president right now. And so it is a very important point to just remind everybody of. We know that. But it runs counter to how the media, very friendly media to the Kamala ticket, has helped her in kind of positioning herself as somebody who's going to come in on day one and change things. It's important to remind everybody that she's there right now, especially when the president is non compos mentis on his beach. So she actually really has a lot of power. And so anything that she says kind of rings hollow because she is able to do it right now and she isn't. And he was very effective in bringing that up.
James, just finally to you, your thoughts on that and what are the implications of this debate? Does it matter much in terms of the trajectory of the campaign?
Look, I think we can't get ahead of ourselves too much here. These debates, either way, generally don't tend to move the needle a lot. What this will do is this will probably allay some concerns some people had around JD Vance. And I think it just tends to give more momentum back to the Trump-Vance campaign, because I think that's where the momentum has been lately in recent weeks. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, we haven't seen much of them. They've kind of had a hard time sealing the deal. This idea of the Joy campaign has kind of sputtered out. And, they can't answer that fundamental question about why didn't you do all this stuff you're promising for next year in the last 3.5 years? So, I think this gives a bit of momentum to Trump. I don't think it moves the needle hugely, but it also doesn't give the media a huge, nuclear gaffe against Vance that they can play endlessly for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, certainly doesn't have that. Thank you, James. Kosher, appreciate your insights as always.